Diamondlot, The Diamond Squad. By Eric Waugh. Chapter 29. True Power. The dark sphere burst, creating a huge explosion that blew everyone away. Materializing out from the abyss was Kalea, but she looked different from before. Her body was now plated with armor, and the top half of her face was protected as well. And from her back grew two black wings. Olivia got up on her feet to find everyone was heavily injured. She used a massive portion of her energy to cast a healing spell. Thanks to her efforts, Vance, Nathan, and Rhyen were about to stand back up to fight. The three boys stood on the front lines waiting for their opponent to approach. As they were about to simultaneously strike Kalea, she disappeared from their sight and reappeared in front of the cleric. Olivia had no chance to react as Kalea placed her hand over the mage's shoulder. She lost all strength from her body and collapsed. Seeing harm befall his sister, Vance was enraged and left the formation. He used every iteration of his strongest spell, fire, ice, and lightning. He threw everything he had at Kalea, but with one swing of her scythe, she nullified the tri-attack. Vance was so stunned by her sheer strength that he froze, allowing Kalea to tap him on the shoulder and siphon his strength. Rhyen had seen enough and took matters into his own hands. He attacked Kalea by firing an arrow, but she swatted it away with her armored hand. Her focus was now on Rhyen, who she dashed towards with great speed. Rhyen stood his ground and fired his arrows in rapid succession, but nothing affected Kalea. Seeing Kalea distracted, Nathan attempted to attack her from the blind side. He came crashing in against her scythe, but she pushed back Nathan and sent him dragging across the ground. With Nathan defeated, she turned back towards the archer. Rhyen knew this was his last stand, but something happened that he wasn't expecting. Biscuit jumped in front to take Kalea's lethal attack. The scythe made contact against something, but Biscuit was not harmed. Instead, Bella had appeared and she managed to hold off the scythe with her spear. Kalea had been intrigued by Bella since their first encounter. She figured now would be the best time to test her theory. She swung her weapon again, increasing her strength. Bella blocked the attack, but she was getting weaker by the moment. She refused to let Biscuit get injured, so she had to remain on the defensive. Rhyen was moving to a better spot where he would have a direct sight of Kalea's blind spot. He fired his arrow at Kalea's back, but she knew it was coming. She waited for the right moment before disappearing, and now the target of the arrow was heading straight for Biscuit. Bella managed to shield the dog with her back. Rhyen was relieved and grateful for Bella's efforts, but Kalea appeared behind him with a hand on his shoulder and siphoned his strength. She then turned her attention to the final fighter that remained. She swung her scythe, creating a massive gust that blew Bella away, slamming her against a tree. She reached out with her hand again to sap another victim's strength, but when she placed her hand on Bella, nothing happened. While she was confused, Rhyen somehow arose after losing the majority of his energy to Kalea. Although he was able to stand, Kalea saw him as no threat to her, but Rhyen suddenly had an aura that overflowed with energy. Kalea had no idea, but Rhyen used to have a younger sister who always played with Biscuit. Unfortunately, because of the terror of the Mad King, many had disappeared from his village. The only thing left that reminded him of his family was Biscuit. His arm was now glowing with a mark, signifying that he was the final warrior that Bella and Nathan were searching for. Rhyen pulled out his bow and he fired a multitude of arrows at an inhumane speed with incredible precision. They all made contact with Kalea, causing a giant smokescreen upon collision. Bella, Nathan, Olivia, and Vance all witnessed the incredible display of power from Rhyen. They had never seen anything like it before, but they were in for an even greater surprise. When the smoke cleared, Kalea was somehow still standing, and her wounds were very minor. While the two continued their battle, Bella and Nathan barely had any strength left to get up. Somehow, Olivia found the extra strength to move towards Vance. Olivia was very perceptive. She knew Rhyen had used up a majority of his power on his last attack. He would tire out before Kalea would. She looked to her brother, and with just the look in her eyes, Vance knew exactly what they had to do. Rhyen put up a good fight, but Kalea's endurance and strength were too overwhelming. With his final burst of energy, he channeled everything into one final shot that struck Kalea's chest plate, causing a crack but no further damage. She pulled out the arrow and then knocked Rhyen down. Her scythe was raised, but she held off her assault when she heard a couple of voices in the distance. She turned her head to find Olivia and Vance standing on a rock together.
Halt. Stop where you are.
Don't think you can run away, because we are the law.
All evildoers beware.
Thinking about picking a fight with us? It won't even be fair.
I am Vance.
And I am Olivia. Together, we are the Twin Dynamo. Catastrophe.
They combined all their energy to unleash a massive magical blast that was aimed at Kalea. Although the attack was more than powerful, she could see the attack slowly approaching. She would have escaped, but Nathan came whirling in and forced her to block his giant sword. Nathan held on just long enough before jumping back to get away from the line of fire. He timed it perfectly so that a spear came flying in and pierced Kalea right in the chest. The same spot Rhyen cracked in her plating earlier. As she struggled to move, she looked to the person who threw the spear, and it was none other than Bella. She then looked back at the twin mages' fusion attack that was heading straight for her. She realized that this was true power, one where everyone worked together to defeat a common enemy. She broke a smile before the blast collided against her, causing a massive explosion within the area.